My day job is I'm a territory sales manager for the east of the country. Entails being on the road every day, visiting shops, visiting our retailers and stockists. I love it. I'm travelling different parts of the country, places where I would never usually go, meeting some awesome people, you know. Majority of the time they're all into angling, they've all got a passion for it, you know. It's good to have a good old catch up, and also the business side of it, you know. It's good to see shops develop, help them along the way. Yeah, I get a lot out of it actually, and I've met some really good friends along the way. It's a funny one really, because everyone else seems to have stories of their, you know, their father taking them fishing or their granddad or something, but my passion for angling kind of came from nowhere. As in, like, I was never kind of taken along angling as a kid. It just kind of always loved being outdoors, and it just stemmed from there really. We had a river close by to the village where I was brought up. Watching fish swimming around in the river just gave me a real passion for trying to catch them, and I just did my homework and almost self-taught, if you like, and it just grew from there. There's been a lot of people that have inspired me along the way. I could probably name 10 or 15 that have really motivated me out on the bank, but one in particular, I'd have to say Dave Lane. Been fortunate to share the bank with him a few times on various waters, and he's the real deal, you know. Looking at the work rate he puts into it, he talks the talk and he certainly walks the walk. Man in mid position, you know, he's fishing from awesome waters and hard waters as well, you know. He doesn't play it safe by going where he knows he's going to catch. He likes venturing out. He likes exploring new venues, you know, without form. Yeah, and I think I admire that, yeah. There's been countless, you know. There's been countless. Met a lot of friends. One in particular I'd probably say was several years ago. I spent a couple of years on St Ives Lagoon in Cambridgeshire chasing a big mirror affectionately known as the Fat Lady. Very hard lake. It took a lot of motivation, determination to put the time in there. And yeah, I was racking at the blanks as you do on those sort of waters. I think there's like, at the time there's something like 11 or 12 fish in 35 acres. A lot of good anglers on there. Met a lot of good friends on there. And yeah, I was lucky enough to, I didn't catch the big one. Unfortunately, she passed away before I managed to catch her. But I did catch another target of mine known as the Terminator Common. Not particularly big, but a real characterful fish. Funny looking common. Brilliant session leading up to that, you know. It's just, I managed to get on the fish, there was fish about. You know, you've got to be one step ahead of everyone else on waters like that, and the calibre of angler was really high, so you had to be at the top of your game. Managed to get in position and snatched this fish, you know. It was a real rare one as well. There's sort of a handful of fish that come out regular, well, fairly regular, as in kind of twice a year and somewhere like that. And the Terminator Common came out kind of not even once a year, maybe once every 2 years. So it was a real rare and special capture. I couldn't even tell you the weight of it, to be honest. It didn't matter. It was the capture of the actual fish and not the numbers. Yeah, it sticks in my mind. Also, I love being out. Every season's got its real high points. I love doing a bit of all sorts really in the winter. You know, those cold mornings and those sort of winter sunsets are some of the best of the year. But you know, summer's great. You know, I have a lot of socials with mates. Time to catch up in the summer and you know, and have the old barbecues and all that lot of stuff. But I think really, if you'd have asked me 10 years ago, I probably would have said autumn, with the build up, the temperatures dropping and fish tended to go on the feed. You could have some good hits, but it doesn't seem to materialise like that these days. So I'd have to say spring. I love it when, you know, you kind of get February out of the way, coming into March and everything's, you know, everything's starting to green up and shoot up. Trees are budding, everything's waking up, you know, birds are singing. Yeah, just an amazing season to be on the bank. So yeah, definitely spring. I have to think about this one. A probably boring choice would be my phone, because it's ultimately my lifeline. You know, I've got children, so it's essential that that's on and charged all the time, you know, just in case. And also it's sometimes I fish places where there might not be anyone else fishing it at the time. Quiet venues that I seem to end up on these days. And you know, should you have a good capture, it's essential that I've got someone on the end of the line I can call and take some pics if need be. Yeah, it's just an essential bit of kit really. Second would have to be porridge pots. I love porridge pots, man. They're just, yeah, they're just such an edge. Certainly when you wake up in the morning and you just need that boost of energy. You know, you might have had a long night. It's certainly just a quick and effective way of filling your body with energy for the day ahead. Yeah, breakfast of champions, that one. Thirdly, I would have to say coffee. I do like my coffee. It's got to be quality stuff, no rubbish. Similar sort of thing really, you know. Bit of a morale booster if you've been up, you know, if you've had a fish at 3 in the morning and you're still buzzing and you don't want to miss the dawn. So yeah, a couple of strong cups of coffee can get you buzzed up. Also, when a lot of my fishing is done overnights and between work, and I like to have a couple of strong brews before I get off to work in the morning, which really kick-starts my day. So yeah, coffee I'd say. Oh God, there's been so many people falling in, all sorts of random stuff. But recently actually, it sort of springs to mind, is I was fishing quite a quiet nature reserve style pit. You know, very little pressure on there, hardly have any anglers on there, and I set up. You know, it took me a good effort to get where I wanted to be through the undergrowth. I set up, managed to get on my spots that I've been baiting. It was a hot day, and yeah, and loads on the opposite bank, whereas a bit of a footpath goes by, a load of teenagers turned up and decided to totally strip off and go for a swim, which is pretty random. And yeah, swam right through my swim. So yeah, that tickled me a bit. Not conducive to a good session, but yeah, that was quite funny. Everyone seems to be quite tidy these days and organised, don't they? But messiest. I would probably say, I'd probably have to say Dave Lane again. Just because everything's just ramshackle with Dave. It's just, I remember going into his swim and there's no order to anything. It's just stuff everywhere, shroon everywhere, and it's just, I don't know. It works for him, but yeah, organised chaos, I'd say. But yeah, certainly doesn't stop him having them. They're quite a boring one, really. But salads, I like to have a nice chicken salad or something. Knock it up before I come fishing, and it's there fresh. You know, you don't get that horrible bloated feeling with a salad, but especially through the summer, it's the way forward. But I think really, you know, when you're going into autumn and you fish the colder months, you can't beat a nice homemade chilli, nice and spicy, warms the cockles of your heart. So yeah, it has to be a nice homemade chilli. It's certainly progressed things very quickly in all forms of life these days. But angling wise, it's obviously a brilliant marketing tool for business use. You can reach so many people at a click of a button. It's just come on leaps and bounds in that area. So that's a real positive. It's good to hook up with people you've not seen for quite a while. I do get inspiration from some people on there, you know, seeing how they go about their angling can be quite inspirational. Photography as well, especially things like Instagram, you know, seeing the work and effort people put into their photography and the talent they got for it is really great to see. Probably on the downside, it's kind of not policed very well, and you do get a lot of negative stuff. No matter what you put up, there's always a percentage of negativity. It will come your way at some point, which is a shame, you know, but it gives everyone a voice, even the idiots. So yeah, but all in all, I think it's great, you know. It brings people together, which is always good. There's loads of items of kit that I obviously use all the time and love, and really helps my angling, my time on the bank. But probably more recently, our waders, the N2 waders. They're a great bit of kit to have with you. Before, I always used to take waders with me, but they're always very cumbersome, you know. They're all sort of, at times like, you had to be in the water to get to your rods and stuff like that, and you're expecting a run, you know, you had to sit in your wader and you're always sweating, and you know, it was always a very uncomfortable sort of experience. But with these new waders, you know, they're very light, and they're pretty breathable, and you can spend hours in them and not be uncomfortable. So they're a great bit of kit. They dry out really quick as well, which is a right edge, and they look the nuts. So yeah, it'd have to be the N2 waders. I'd have to say it's a great medicine. It takes you to another world. It takes you to the heart of nature, fresh air. It's just great, you know. If you get into it, most people do get hooked, and it builds into a passion, you know. And if you've got a passion for something, that is a big tick in the box of life, I feel. Yeah, so I'd recommend it to anyone, absolutely anyone. It gives you a great appreciation of nature as well, which I feel is vitally important in this day and age. And yeah, helps you appreciate your surroundings. I can remember growing up, you know, it's a lot of non-angling friends, and I'd drop a piece of rubbish, and you know, it wouldn't please me, you know, I'd have to pick it up. I couldn't see rubbish about, and I still can't to this day, you know. It's just like an appreciation for your surroundings. And yeah, and like angling's a great buzz, you know. It can be whatever you want it to be. Yeah, certainly recommend it to anyone.